Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Mark Harris and I'll be your host during this presentation. What I'm trying to do here with this specific video is to address the growing number of YouTube videos released by various people that are claiming that the zodiac signs have changed, that they're wrong, that people don't have the same zodiac signs as they think they do, and this has become an issue that needs to be addressed. I have been studying astrology for over 40 years, and I've found it to be quite effective. First of all, we need to discuss what astrology is and get a firm definition of what's going on with that. Astrology is the study of the correspondences of the interrelationships of bodies and points in surrounding space relative to Earth and what happens here on our planet and in our lives. This doesn't mean just personality astrology, where we get these charts analyzed for our birth times and we hear various ideas about what we're like and things like that. Astrology deals with everything that goes on Earth. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, plant explosions, terrorist bombings, mass shootings. Everything that happens has a chart, and it is a chart that specifically shows what happened at that location and moment in time. Astrology exists and works based on the principles of chaos theory and fractals. Chaos theory emerged during the late 70s and early 80s. It has provided robust evidence from the natural world, biology, human social behavior, and physics that suggest fractals, which are mathematical patterns exhibiting self-similarity at increasingly smaller scales, are a scalar symmetric organizing principle of the universe itself, and everything in the universe is in sync as much as possible with the universe as it evolves. This gives rise to a synchronous symbolic relationship between Earth and surrounding space as a set of mutually reflecting fractal grammars. That's a term from chaos theory. Got that from Scientific American in 1997. One of those issues had that phrase in it, and it was a wonderful thing that the people who wrote that article that had that phrase in there had no idea that they were handing the astrological community the most robust and working paradigm of why astrology works. They had no idea, no clue. But that is a game changer for the astrological community and is steadily increasing in acceptance by astrologers. Everything is in sync with the universe itself, and that is a powerful statement. Many videos on YouTube in these recent years by supposed experts who are not fully familiar with astrology, very superficially familiar with a few things, and they go on with that. And they're claiming that the Astrological Zodiac has changed due to stellar precession, also known as the precession of the Equinoxes. They are claiming that you are not your zodiac sign. Well, what is stellar precession? Our Earth rotates on an axis. This axis of rotation also rotates very slowly. This makes the stars appear to move relative to the placement of the sun at the equinoxes and solstices that are associated with our seasons. The solar spring equinox changes 1 degree every 72 years, and the Earth's axial rotation makes a complete circle every 25,920 years, and they call that the astrological great year. The apparent forward motion of the constellations relative to the spring equinox give rise to the 12 astrological ages, You've no doubt heard about the age of Aquarius that's coming out. These ages last 2,160 years. Currently, our solar spring equinox is leaving the area of the constellation of Pisces and will enter the area of the constellation Aquarius. This is why there are claims that the zodiac signs have changed. But the constellations are not the zodiac signs. The zodiac signs are constructs, and this is really important. The ancients created our zodiacs based on the symbolism of esoteric geometry. Okay, here we have a circle, the circle of infinity, crossed by the four elements of matter, which are associated with the equinoxes and the solstices. We start here in the spring equinox on the right side of your screen, associated with the element fire of the ancients. It peaks in the sign of Cancer, the beginning of that sign, which is associated with water. At the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox, which starts in Libra, that's associated with the element air. And at the last, the winter solstice in the first degree of Capricorn is associated with the element of earth. What they did was they used compass to create 4 new circles associated with those 4 points on the edge of the original circle. And these create 12 divisions. The interplay of the circle intersections of the 4 main points on the circle of infinity create our zodiac sign cusps. They are not the constellations. And here we have the completed zodiac as it is known, with the symbols shown. Zodiac constellations and the zodiac signs are not the same. Although the signs have the same names as the constellations, and there are some symbolic correspondences, there are qualities of the signs that do not correspond with the constellations in meaningful ways. They are determined by careful observation of astrologers over the centuries. Among these differences are the 4 elemental rulerships: fire, earth, air, and water, the 3 modalities, cardinal, fixed, mutable, of the individual zodiac signs. Additionally, there are planetary rulerships assigned to the signs. They have nothing to do with the constellational associations. We have the 4 elements here: fire, earth, air, and water. We have the 3 modalities of cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And we have the planetary rulerships assigned by the ancients of the zodiacal signs, which shows the 7 visible, quote, planets, unquote, the sun and moon, forming a partnership between Leo and Cancer. We have Mercury ruling 2 signs, Venus ruling 2 signs, Mars ruling 2 signs, Jupiter ruling 2 signs, and the most distant are Capricorn and Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn. Space divisions in the traditional horoscope are quite complex. A fundamental part of a traditional astrology involves the divisions of space into increasingly smaller slices. Thus, we have the 4 hemispheres in the chart, 4 quadrants, 12 zodiac signs, 36 10-degree divisions called the decanates, 72 5-degree divisions called dwads, sections of the chart associated with individual planets called terms. There's 2 types of those, the Egyptian and the Ptolemaic. And finally, the 360 degrees. Each segment has individual characteristics that add to the information that can be gained from any chart in the traditional modern 360 degree format. There are 2 main 12-sign zodiac frameworks. The tropical zodiac, most commonly used in Western astrology, fixes the zodiac to the equinox and solstice points. The sidereal zodiac is primarily used in Vedic Jyotish astrology. It uses the positions of the fixed star Spica in the Virgo constellation as the cusp of Libra, and 0 degrees Aries is opposite that point. It aligns more closely to the zodiacal constellation's positions, but does not completely align with them. The Vedics delineate their sidereal zodiac signs significantly different from the Western zodiac. So I hold that it is important that if we use the sidereal zodiac, that we use the sidereal zodiac delineations that the Vedics have provided for us. Otherwise, there's a problem, because if one zodiac says you're Virgo and the other one says you're a Leo, then you're going to have difficulties if you are using both Western delineations. One of those is not going to work if you're sticking with Western. The length of the zodiac constellations in the sky varies significantly, unlike the equal 30-degree segments used in astrology. Here are the approximate extents of the zodiac constellations in degrees of celestial longitude. We see 25 degrees on Aries, 37 for Taurus, Gemini is 31, Cancer 20, Leo 37, Virgo is 45 whole degrees. That's a sign and a half. Libra is 23 degrees, Scorpius is only 7 degrees, Sagittarius is 32 degrees, Capricornus is 23 degrees, Aquarius is 24, and Pisces is 38 degrees. Very different from those 30-degree sections. While the sidereal zodiac comes more closely to the zodiacal constellations, it still does not completely align with them. No zodiac matches the constellations. Anybody that says they do or they're supposed to is wrong. The approximate starting point of each zodiac constellation relative to the Lahiri sidereal 0 degrees Aries shows these signs with variations of 5 degrees before the cusp, 2 degrees after, 3 degrees after, 7 degrees before the cusp, 15 degrees after the cusp, 8 degrees after the cusp, 15 degrees before the cusp, 13 degrees before the cusp, 20 degrees before the cusp on Aquarius, and 26 degrees before the cusp on Pisces. There is no matching there whatsoever. The precession of the equinoxes slightly changes how the zodiac signs of natives express as the astrological ages change. Conjunctions and oppositions of the planets to the stars of the constellations have corresponding expressions in our physical lives. These will give the zodiac sign placements of planets certain unique qualities as the constellations move through the zodiac signs as the centuries pass. Precession matters in astrology, but it does not change the Western tropical zodiac in any way. A difference between the two zodiacs, tropical and sidereal, seem to be a matter of scale. My thinking is the solar-based tropical zodiac would seem to be a smaller, more immediate scale than the sidereal, more closely conforming to the ancient maxim, as above, so below, which is also termed in chaos theory a set of mutually reflective fractal grammars. But both zodiacs work on their own terms. In astrological charts, the delineated associations of the zodiac signs is filtered through a 12-division framework of astrological houses, calculated from the exact date, time, and location a native is born or an event takes place. This makes the planetary placements in the zodiac more specific to an individual's life expression or to an event being studied. This is why some people don't feel like their sun sign fits them. One of the strongest, most compelling proofs that the tropical zodiac signs have not changed comes from medical astrology. The zodiac corresponds to the layout of our physical anatomy. This is the zodiac man, which I modified from a very old book page image. It shows the approximate placements of the human body in association with corresponding zodiacal signs. Thus, Aries rules the head, Taurus rules the neck, Gemini rules the arms and hands, Cancer rules the chest, Leo rules the heart, Virgo rules the belly and intestines, Libra rules the hips, Scorpio rules the genitals, Sagittarius rules the upper legs, the knees are ruled by Capricorn, the shins, lower legs, are ruled by Aquarius, and the feet are ruled by Pisces. Here's another old picture which shows those general assignments. They get very specific. Reinhold Eberstein has an extensive list for every astrological degree, and these are associated with specific tiny parts of the human anatomy. If you have an aspect or a midpoint or something or other that's going to signify a blockage on a specific degree, the anatomical position corresponding to that degree needs to be watched. There are also midpoints like Saturn, midpointing Neptune, which is held to be a midpoint associated with weakness of the body. This is also something to watch on a medical degree in the zodiac. Every degree of the zodiac corresponds to specific parts of the human anatomy. As we covered, the correspondences have been carefully studied by physicians knowledgeable of astrology for centuries. These correspondences have not changed over centuries of stellar precession and will remain accurate for our species as the centuries pass. As astrology shows all areas of human life and conditions and events on Earth coherently, enduring correlations of the zodiac to human physiology means that the zodiac and the planetary placements in that framework correlates with all parts of human existence. Your zodiac sign has not changed, and it's not going to change from your time of birth. I really appreciate everyone who's watched this video to completion. I hope you will watch my future videos and perhaps like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for watching.